Reticular activation system. This is a mechanism called its acronym RAS that works as a filter for root tasks. Because without it, we would perceive absolutely all sounds, smells, and things at the same time. One of the functions is to keep us as a constant state of vigilance, alertness, and select where to place our attention or energy. Altru is very important. It is also very that when trying to achieve what you want or perform, our mental reprogramming constantly blocks our desires. Now I will explain why. Since the most people only focus on problems and negative things on a subconscious level, they have been programmed this way. Therefore, those who like to watch news, read news, or have the tendency to complain or lament the situation of the world, the country, have already registered that is important for them. Therefore, the RAS, which is in a full operation most of the time, does nothing but focus on it, meaning it attracts more of that into our lives. Let's look at some very simple example of the level of unconsciousness and error that is used daily. A person who watches news about wars will always hear or find people talking about the same things and will have that information at their disposal momentarily. If there is something that really catches your attention and really decides, like a car, even though on a street you can see easily about 300 cars of the day, when you see the one you desire, will you recognize instantly? And if for some reason you buy it, suddenly you will see everywhere. But how is it possible that this car is now everywhere when you didn't see it before? The car is always been there. It's just that this mechanism didn't set as an important objective. Do you understand? The point is that this red filter we have done allowed to insert into a subconscious ideas or goals that are beyond your reach. That's why it's necessary to suspend it temporarily to change its basic configuration and thus allow us to choose what, when reactivated, it should focus and attract into our lives like magnets. I will explain it simple. A person who lacks money with this filter active only see news and hear people complaining about the same problem, and surely the entire environment suffers from the same situation. If they were to deactivate it, and whenever they think and repeat negative things, they instantly replace them with positive things, they will change the objective of the RAS. Therefore, when it's reactivated, its heart will begin to look for abundance. Certainly, news will no longer be attractive to listen, will stop to hanging out with the people who always complain about the same things, and probably the content of the videos and the way of speaking will change. This will eventually, in a long run, become an habit, but a very positive habit. Now, there are only a couple of specific moments when you can temporarily deactivate these mechanisms. One is when we are falling asleep, and the other one is just when you are waking up in a dorsal state. That is when our brain waves are on theta range, a moment characterized by the facts. In this phase, hypnosis or self-hypnosis taking place, and the brain cannot distinguish what is real and what is not, making it the perfect time to visualize or mentally repeat goals and desires, thus replacing all habits or beliefs. The RAS is active when are constantly and repeatedly things that are beyond under reach or ridiculous. They will be completely rejected in the moment. But with the mechanism was deactivated, all necessary modifications are made. Another very important way to temporarily deactivate insist temporarily is called temporal tapping. It's a technique that's explained in a very simple, involve making small taps or knocks with two fingers together, index and middle, repetitively and quickly, on strategic energetic points of the body. That's we done at least for 9 times interrupts the active filter of the RAS. These taps are done in order, starting from crown chakra, third eye chakra, edge of the ears, behind the ears, above the mouth, below the mouth, solar plexus, and finally inner edge of the palm hands. This is the other crown chakra, third eye chakra, edge of the ears, behind the ears, above the mouth, below the mouth, solar plexus, and finally the inner edge of the palm of the hands. This last technique I'll throw with the same strength to you, but it's really very effective. By now, you have discovered a new tool and function of your mind, but also its function and manipulation is on your favor. Once the necessary modifications have made and the new goals set, we can let this mechanism work peacefully, focusing all its energy on them. It should be clarified that this type of modification requires a lot of practice. Imagine how many years your beliefs have been buried and grained of their roots. We can just rip them suddenly and will not advisably either. That is why practice all these techniques with a lot of patience and love every day, every moment, peeling off layers of dirt. At some point, you will reach the deepest roots, pull them out, and plant the seeds of that will be a great future. And for this, the reticular activation system will be a great ally